Concerns and calls for President Biden to step down growing among Democrats and have grown on Capitol Hill over the weekend. 5 congressional Democrats have publicly called for the president to step down. And CBS News confirms that 4 senior House Democrats said the same. They're the 4 on the bottom of your screen during a Zoom meeting on Sunday with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. CBS congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now. Scott, thanks for waiting. So we've got 9 Democrats, 9 out of 213 in the House. Do you expect more to come?
It's quite possible, but here's what's not sustainable. A circular firing squad where some are coming out and some are coming out to defend the president at the same time. That is not tenable for a political party to be at war with itself, not at any point, especially not less than 4 months until the election. So somehow, in some way, Democrats are going to have to find a way to synchronize, to get on the same page. And the indications over the past 72 hours, Lindsay, is that they're not on the same page. You have 9 who specifically said in some way, shape, or form the president should withdraw, and you've got nearly 200 more who've said very little. You have members of the Congressional Black Caucus who have been unequivocal in their support of President Biden, chastising their colleagues for calling him to step out. They can't continue down this path. They have to find a way to get in lockstep. And maybe that's what this week is all about, finding a way to get a unified voice on this very pressing issue.
Did the president's interview with ABC or events over the weekend move the needle at all for nervous Democrats or Americans?
Not sure it did. I can tell you one good barometer of that is we got our hands on a memo sent to U.S. House members and House top aides by the Biden campaign last night. It listed all these reasons they should stick with President Biden. They did not make any mention of that ABC News interview. Read into that what you might, but it wasn't part of the argument the campaign made to House members late last night. Our latest reporting as the afternoon began here in Washington, one of those 9 House members who over the weekend defected from the president or said he should withdraw is likely to make his case later today in a cable TV interview. A statement will be forthcoming. The others may try to circle the wagons, too. But there's a splinter going on right now inside the Democratic Party in the U.S. House that is not a long-term way for the party to exist. They're going to have to synchronize. And it's possible they begin that process tomorrow morning with an all-hands-on-deck House Democratic caucus meeting in which cell phones will not be permitted. It happens behind closed doors in the 9 a.m. hour Eastern time tomorrow.
A Biden campaign official confirms to CBS News that President Biden has personally called made 20 calls to congressional members since the debate, and more are expected. Does this appease the restless lawmakers who wanted to hear from Biden?
Yeah, I can double down on that. The president said so himself on Friday in Wisconsin that he'd called 20 members of Congress. If the campaign last night said it's still just 20 members, it seems like there wasn't a whole lot of outreach by phone over the course of the long weekend. That notwithstanding, we haven't heard much from Senate Democrats, the chamber with which the president has the closest relationship, the chamber that has the most political heft, some would argue. They've largely kept their powder dry. They haven't had an internal fracture because they haven't really taken prominent public positions largely. So we'll see what becomes of them when they get back late this afternoon.
Scott MacFarlane, as always, thanks so much.